Hi, this is Andy Bauer here at Object Arts. In this video I'm going to show you how you can run Dolphin Smalltalk on the Macintosh on OSX without using one of the standard desktop emulators such as Parallels or VMware. Now you can see that Dolphin here is running under Parallels and works very well, but there are a number of disadvantages of using an emulator product such as Parallels or VMware. Most notably the one of cost. First of all, you have to buy the Parallels desktop product itself, and also you have to license a full copy of Windows in order to be able to do it. An alternative is to use Wine, which is an open source project that aims to emulate the entire Windows API on non-Windows operating systems such as OSX or Linux. In this particular case, I'm going to be using a flavor of wine, which is called WineSkin, and that's available from this address. WineSkin is actually a wrapper which will wrap an application along with an entire copy of wine and all the drivers necessary to use it into a single package. This is actually quite convenient because it means that you guarantee that you have a particular version of wine for your application, so that any other versions of wine which may be installed on a machine won't break it in future. So WineSkin is only available for OSX, but a lot of what you see today will be suitable if you wish to try and run Dolphin perhaps on Linux or some other system. So the first thing to do is to download WineSkin and install it, and I've done that here. And you end up with an application called the WineSkin Winery. If we open this, when you first open it, you actually won't have any installed engines in the system. So what you'll need to do is to click on the plus button here and choose one of the engines and one of the versions of Wine to install. Now I've chosen to use the latest version. That seems to work okay with Dolphin. And once you have actually got an installed engine, you select it here and create a new blank wrapper. We're going to call this Dolphin CE Community Edition, and click OK. This takes a little time as it's now building a version of Wine specifically for your application and installing it into an application icon. Right, you may see a message like this where the WineSkin Winery is prompting you to install a version of the Wine Gecko project. I choose to just ignore this. I think Gecko is an HTML viewer, which we don't need, so we can just click cancel for that. And eventually you'll get a message like this where you see the wrapper creation has been finished, and you'll see that it's put it inside our user applications folder in another folder called WineSkin. If we view that wrapper now, you can see here, and this actually is an application icon which we can double click to run it. Now we can close the winery, but before we run this, let's just ask it to show the package contents, which opens up the folder and we see what's inside it. You see it's got the WineSkin application itself, but also there's a link to a drive C, which is a pseudo drive where we are going to install our applications. In this particular case we're going to install Dolphin. Let's double click on the WineSkin icon and choose the Windows software to install. Now I've actually already downloaded a copy of Dolphin into my downloads directory. So I'm going to choose the standard 6.0 version. And you'll see that this launches the normal Dolphin setup installer. And we just go through this clicking the various defaults. And we won't launch the product file, program file right now because it won't work. So we click OK to finish that. Now it'll then ask you which is the main executable that you're going to run when you double click your application icon. Now it comes up by default asking you to run Dolphin.exe in common files. Now there are two versions of Dolphin.exe that are installed, one in common files and one in program files. We actually want to run the one in program files, so let's pick that one and say OK. Now we get the option here to either install more Windows software, set some screen options, or set some advanced options, or just quit. For now, we're just going to quit and see what's been going on. So if we look inside our drive C, and in Program Files, Object Arts, Dolphin 6, you'll see that this is a standard installation of Dolphin. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually create a patched image which has been patched to work correctly under Wine. We're going to do that under a normal version of Windows because I have a patch file that does that, and then we're going to copy the image into this application directory. So let's go to a standard version of Windows. Now I'm using Parallels Desktop here to do that, and I will launch my existing version, which is Dolphin Smalltalk X6 fresh install. And we're going to unlock a Community Edition version. Save it as Community Edition. Okay, so this comes up. We'll close the help window. Let's resize our system folder. Now, the first time Dolphin comes up, it isn't quite in its normal stable state until you've actually closed it and reopened it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this here, and I'm going to find that installation, which will be in our Community Edition image. And we're going to launch it like this. Now we're going to set about patching the image. The first thing we need to do is to install a package called Internal Bitmaps and Icons, and that can be downloaded from the Object Arts website. It was the subject of a blog post that I did some time ago. If you go to the Object Arts blog and choose the blog post entitled Beauty with Less Beast, somewhere on that page you will find, further down, a download for this particular package. Here we are, and I'm going to save that to my desktop, or let's actually save it to my working directory. Close that. I'm going to install that package into this version of our Community Edition image. We'll use a package browser, install it, and we'll choose Internal Bitmaps and Icons. It's done that, and what that does is allow us to actually run different types of icons which are stored inside the Dolphin image, and I've made use of that in the patch file which we're about to load in now. The next thing we want to do is to install the winefix.st patch. The link for that is on the latest blog post on the Object Arts site concerning this wine installation. So what you need to do is to file that in, and we navigate to our directory where we've downloaded that, and we have a thing called winefix.st. Open that, and we'll be prompted to close all our windows. And there we go. So we've now patched our image, and this should be suitable for running under Wine. One thing we might want to do is to just turn off the tip of the day at startup, and I'm going to save this image as just dolphin.exe. Okay, So now we should find in this directory, we should see we have a dolphin.img, dolphin.chg and dolphin.small. So let's copy these files into our WineSkin application folder. If you remember, we opened that over here and navigated to it. Actually, I'll just do that again to show you. If you go to the WineSkin package, show package contents, drive C, program files, object arts, Dolphin Smalltalk, and in here we're going to put our image. Now the reason for doing this is because by default dolphin.exe will load an image called dolphin.img, and so as soon as we've copied these across, we should be good to go. So I'm going to select all three files, dolphin img, dolphin small and dolphin change, and I'm going to copy these over here. Okay. Now let's once again before we do anything else, let's get rid of this emulator, and let's also install an icon for this. So if we go to show the package contents again, double click on WineSkin, and we can set the advanced options, and one of them is to add an icon. Now you'll need an icon in the Mac format, which is an ICNS file. I've created that, so let's browse to that. It's on my desktop, dolphin.ics, choose OK, and it's version 6.02. Click done and click quit, and you'll see now we have our application icon, and indeed we can actually drag that down now into our dock, and it can be treated like any normal Mac application. And if I launch it, you'll see that the Community Edition launches fairly well. Splash screen, which we can dismiss, and you'll see that the product is working relatively well. Now there are a number of things that don't work completely, but basically there's enough here to be getting by, and also enough probably to be able to install Dolphin applications under Wine in a similar manner. In a subsequent video I'm going to show you some of the problems and also some of the alternative options that you can set. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the next video.